game of two halves. I thought we couldn't have played any better than we played in the first half. I thought we did a lot of good things, both offensively and defensively. And then you give them credit. I thought their second half was the exact same. I thought they played really, really well, both offensively and defensively in the second half. I thought their movements were good, rotations-wise, defensively. I thought offensively they were able to connect on some plays and get some momentum, knocking down shots. And they played a very good basketball game.
You're a month into this league. How difficult really is this challenge from minute to minute, much less half to half?
And that's exactly what it is. I mean, it's an incredible conference. You've heard about it, and then when you're actually in it, you realize just how good a conference it is. And I think the commissioner and everybody involved that's been a part of this conference has done an amazing job because, every single night, and tonight, it feels like an NCAA tournament game. I've been in quite a few of those myself as a player and as a coach, and every single night is like that. So hats off to the commissioner and what they're doing with this conference. I think it's only continuing to get better and stronger, which is hard to believe. But every team from top to bottom is so competitive. Every coach is so good. You have to play great basketball for 40 minutes to have a chance to win.
Did it feel different even, you played Cincinnati a million times in the American. Did it feel different tonight, being a Big 12 game, the atmosphere, what's on the line? Well,
absolutely. Well, one, this environment is always amazing. Hats off to everyone here. Coming to Cincinnati, it's going to be a great environment. It's going to be a great crowd every single night. So that wasn't the difference. It's just that you're playing down a different conference, and with the conference being as deep as it is, and everybody from top to bottom, so that changes some. But as far as the crowd and as far as the atmosphere here, it's always electric.
Coach, C.J. Walker wasn't able to go tonight. Do you have any updates on the situation, why he wasn't able to play, and how much did you end up missing him?
Well, no, he wasn't able to play tonight. We'll see. He's still, it's probably day to day as far as, his recovery. But hopefully he'll be fine as we continue to, rehab him and we move forward. I don't know a timetable of when he'll return, but, he's a veteran player for us that has been a starter for us.
And then UC gets up to a 15-6 lead. You guys storm back. What were the conversations like in the huddle? What adjustments did you guys make to kind of retake the lead and stretch that lead even?
Well, we just got to chip away at it. When a team makes a run like they did to start the game off, and they're explosive, they can do that. We just try to keep defending, stick with the game plan, keep trying to chip away at the lead.
Jaylin, it didn't have an easy matchup tonight for you with John Newman on you, but you still finished with 19 points. What was working for you offensively there to get you going versus high caliber defensive player like John?
Just being able to trust my teammates. My teammates trusted me, and Coach Dawkins just put me in position to excel. And I knew he was going to play me aggressive, watched a lot of film on him. So yeah, he was a great defender.
You guys in the preseason they picked you last. BYU was down a ways. Do you think maybe some of the new teams deserve a little more respect than you've gotten?
Well, it's a process going through this league. They have to pick, everybody has to pick you somewhere, from top to bottom. Somebody's going to end up being first, someone's going to end up being last. The main thing you have to do is just understand what your own standards are for your program, what the expectations are within our program. That's all that really matters. We know people, have to make choices and have to, pick and have to rank teams. We don't look at those things other than, every team is going to start off the same place when conference play starts, 0-0, and it's going to be settled in March where everybody finishes, and the goal is just to keep working as hard as you can.
Coach, you guys were out rebounding 23-12 in that second half. What were the adjustments that you saw from Cincinnati, and were they as physical and aggressive going to the glass as you maybe saw on film?
Oh, they are. They're a very physical team, very good offensive rebounding team. We had talked about that prior to the game. We had a lot of respect for how aggressive they are going to the board. So it wasn't as if we were surprised at that. We have to do a better job because they did a great job of they were relentless, kept coming, different guys making plays. And that's who they've been, and watching them on tape, and they do a very good job of it.
Coach, you talked earlier about Big 12 and the environment. Does it kind of remind you of the ACC in the mid-'80s when you were playing at Duke?
It does. It really does. We had those A teams. Can you imagine the same situation? Everybody had unbelievable talent. Everybody had great coaches. As you know, a lot of Hall of Fame coaches came from that era. And, it reminds me of that. It also reminds me of the old Big East. Reminds me of the old Big East. You know, both of those conferences back when I was playing. You know, it's kind of a throwback for me. So I've really enjoyed competing in it because you know, it just reminds me so much of what I had seen, you know, when I was growing up.
Jaylin, when you come into a matchup like that, does it feel like you're getting ready for like a heavyweight fight, knowing your team, especially with CJ out, was going to need you to be on top of your game, and that John was going to come at you? You hit, and especially in the first half, you had some really tough shots that looked like, you know, you had it going.
I take the same approach to every game, whether they're playing or not. I take the same approach to every game. Most definitely knew I was gonna have to step up defensively, but it didn't go our way. So.
Coach, impression of Dan Skilling's as he's kind of coming into his own as a sophomore, and you know, trying to be more consistent as a player.
You know what? I've watched him, young man, get better and better from last year to this year. You see improvement. That's what you want to see. That's what we kind of grew up with as coaches and players, is watching the natural progression of a player like him. You know, now it's a little more difficult, but you know, it's you know, fun seeing him develop. I mean, the young man is getting better right before our eyes. He's blossoming, and I think his best basketball is still ahead of him. You know, I see a lot of things this young man is going to be able to do as he continues to improve his game. Obviously, he's working. Obviously, they're working with him. The coaching staff is doing a good job because you see the development. And yeah, the young man's having a really good year, and he's only going to continue to get better.
And then finally, John Newman, a guy in his 6th year, dealt with a lot of injuries. Got to be, as a former player, got to be rewarding to see a guy like that.
Yeah, I'm really happy for him. You know, I don't care. When I play against teams, and my players are tested this, I always tell guys we want to play them with all their players out there, because this game, we all one wrong step, one wrong move, and all of a sudden you're out, you know, for a season or out for some games. And so because of that, and I've been injured before with injuries that have kept me out of seasons and part of seasons. So I'm always wanting the guys to get back and be able to play and contribute, because they've worked so hard all their lives in this game. They've worked, they're developing their games, and the one thing they want to do is come out in front of you guys and compete. And for them to be sitting over there injured is tough. So I'm really happy for him that he's able to get out and do something that he loves to do.
One more question in the back there.
Johnny, this league is going to be, I assume, like this, when you view it as a coach, a grind from start to finish. When you look at a game like this, what do you take from, what kind of lessons can you take from it and pass it on to your players?
Well, we have to grow from every one of these opponents that we face. We have to grow, and I'll know more when we get back and watch the tape and start studying it more. But you have to be at your best for 40 minutes. I know that you can't play 20 minutes or 30 minutes. You have to play a full 40-minute game, because the other team's going to play that same amount. So you have to make sure that you're focused for that entire amount of time.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.